dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Fresh out of the oven. Fresh bread. Would you like some fresh bread, Madam? Just bread. Nice in my basket right here. Fresh bread. Fresh out the bakery. Fresh bread. Big cookies this morning. Fresh bread. Merry Christmas.
Scrooge, where the devil have you been? You look as though you've seen a ghost.
It's those idiots on the street. This time of year, they begin to whiff a hope of handouts and free eats. It should be outlawed, I tell you. Marley, I do believe that you and I are the only two sane people left in all of London.
Yes, and I'm beginning to wonder about you. Were you able to collect the rent?
No, but Madame Pringle and her brood's legal address is a dirty snowbank on the east side. The new tenants are moving in as we speak. The woman said, "It's not possible for a human being to throw a family out of their house on Christmas Eve." And I assured her that it was. Marley, how did you fare at the warehouse?
Oh, Mr. Hawkins insists that he cannot afford to move his product at this time. Nor can he afford the storage fee at this time. It's always at this time, isn't it? These fools always dreaming of a day when it will be their time and money will fall from the sky. I told Mr. Hawkins well. It would be at this time he'd be finding his goods floating down the Thames. He proceeded to tell me that such action would undoubtedly cause the death of himself, his wife, and his considerable family. At which I thanked him on behalf of the surplus population and bade him good night. Oh, Scrooge, you should have seen him. It does my heart good to laugh.
Marley, have you secured the day's revenues yet?
I thought it was your turn.
My turn? It's your turn. Don't you remember we had this discussion last night?
Yes, I remember discussing it last night, and then it was I that took the money down to the vaults.
No, you are mistaken. That was the night before. I took the money to the vault last night.
Are you sure? I could have sworn.
It doesn't matter. I'll take the money to the vault. You take it tomorrow night.
No. If it's my turn, I'll do it.
All right. I'll help you collect the money boxes.
Thank you. Is that all of it?
All for today anyway. Make sure you lock it up real tight.
I will.
Marley! Marley!
The money is secured in the vaults, Mr. Scrooge. Are you quite all right, sir? Did I just hear you calling Mr. Marley?
I'm perfectly fine, Mr. Cratchit.
Very good, sir. I miss him too, sir. It's been 7 years, and yet it seems like only just yesterday.
Might I suggest you return to your work? before I am forced to decide that you and I must part company.
Very good, sir.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas, a humbug? Come, Uncle. You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You are poor enough.
Then what right have you to be so dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah, humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world as fools as this? Merry Christmas? Out upon Merry Christmas. What is Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills with no money? Time to finding yourself 1 year older and not 1 hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart he should.
Uncle.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way. Let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it's done you. Much good it's ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited, I dare say. Christmas among the rest. But I'm sure I've always thought of Christmas as a good time, a kind and charitable, forgiving, a pleasant time. It's the only time I know of in the long calendar of the year where men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and view those below them as though they truly were fellow passengers to the grave, not just another race of creatures bound on other journeys. Therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Let me hear another sound out of you, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry with me, Uncle. Come and dine with my wife and me tomorrow.
I'll see you in hell first.
But why? Why?
Why did you marry a poor girl?
Because I fell in love.
Because I fell in love. Good afternoon.
Nay, Uncle, you've never given that as a reason for not coming to see me before. Why give it as one now?
Because I fell in love.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry to find you so resolute. There's never been any quarrel to which I've been a party. But I've made my trial in homage to Christmas. And I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. A Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
Merry Christmas, Bob.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
You're no better than he is. A clerk making 15 shillings a week with a wife and family to support, talking about Merry Christmas? I'll retire to Bedlam.
Merry Christmas. My name is Mrs. Tinker.
And I am Mrs. Potts. We come on a mission of charity.
You must be new around here.
Well, new to this district.
But not new to the blessed work of charity. Isn't that right, Mrs. Tinker?
Right you are, Mrs. Potts. Let me see. Scrooge and Marley's, I believe.
Do we speak to Mr. Scrooge or to Mr. Marley concerning donations of a charitable nature?
Your chances would be better with Mr. Marley.
Well, then may we speak with Mr. Marley?
Why, yes. In fact, I wish you could. In fact, I wish you were with him right now. Mr. Marley has relocated, but I'd be happy to give you directions. Have you got a shovel?
A shovel? Whatever would we need a shovel for?
If you wish to speak to Mr. Marley, you will have to dig him up. He's dead.
Dead?
As a doornail.
Dead?
As a coffin nail. He died 7 years ago, this very night.
We are so sorry.
We didn't know.
But I shall make a note of it.
I'm sure, Mr. Scrooge, that you share the same spirit of generosity as the dearly departed Mr. Marley.
You can count on that.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge.
It is more than usually desirable that we make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute,
who suffer greatly at this present time.
Many thousands are in want of common necessities.
Hundreds and thousands are in need of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Oh, plenty of prisons.
And you and your workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are still.
I wish I could say they were not.
And the treadmill and poor law, are they still in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I was afraid of what you said at first, that something had occurred to stop them in a useful course. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, under the impression that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind and body to the multitude.
A few of us in the district are endeavoring to raise some money to buy the poor some meat.
And drink.
And means of warmth.
We choose this time because it is a time of all others when want is keenly felt.
And abundance rejoices. Isn't that right, Mrs. Potts?
I couldn't agree more, Mrs. Tinker. What shall we put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, you wish to remain anonymous.
Anonymous, Mrs. Potts. How marvelous. You wish to remain anonymous. I shall make a note of that.
No. I wish to be left alone.
Alone?
Yes. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I don't make myself merry at Christmas, and I can't afford to make other people merry. My taxes support the establishments that I have mentioned. They cost enough. Those who are badly off must go there.
But many cannot go there.
And many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then let them do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, excuse me, I don't know that.
Well, you might know that.
It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Make a note of that. Good day, Mrs. Tinker. Good day, Mrs. Potts.
God rest thee, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day.
Stop that singing!
From Satan's power when we were
Humbug!
Nico!
Mr. Cratchit! What are you trying to do, scare the life out of me? You should carry a bell around like those other idiots.
I'm sorry, sir.
Must be closing time, and you're not dashing from the place as if it were on fire.
No, sir, because
That
actually...
can only mean that you want something
well,
from me.
Actually, yes, sir. I was hoping that
You're
I
going to
might...
finish me off, ask me for a raise in salary,
No, sir,
and
it's
my
not a raise
head
that
will
I-
surely explode. Speak, Cratchit, speak!
It's about tomorrow, sir.
I knew it! I suppose you want the whole day off.
If quite convenient, sir.
Convenient? No, and it's not fair. If I were to stop a half a crown for it, you would think yourself ill-used.
I really wouldn't know, sir.
And yet you don't think me ill-used for paying a day's wages for no work.
But it's only once a year, sir.
But it's only once a year, sir. Pretty poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th day of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here earlier the next morning.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I will,
right.
sir.
You go. I'll finish up here.
Yes. Oh, and sir, have a very
Don't you dare say that to me, Mr. Cratchit. Don't you dare say that to me!
Good night, sir. Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
I heard that!
God rest thee, merry gentlemen, that
Where
nothing
is that
you
coming
dismay.
from?
Remember Christ our
The world is
Savior
gone, man. That's what
was
happened.
born on Christmas Day.
Stop it! Stop it! What are you looking at?
From Satan's power when we were gone astray, of tidings of comfort and joy.
Blasted
Comfort and
fools have got me
joy.
agitated, that's all.
Tidings of comfort and joy.
A quick nap is what is needed. Now be as good as new. Who's there?
Scrooge.
Humbug! That's more like it. Who's there? What do you want from me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then? You're particular for a shave.
In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Bah, humbug.
You do not believe in me?
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Little things can affect him. Slight disorder of the stomach makes him cheat. Maybe a undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Mercy, dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me?
Man of Willie Mine! Do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. But why do spirits roam the earth? Why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him walk abroad amongst his fellow men and travel far and wide. If that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. through the world and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and told to happiness.
You wear chains. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. I got it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It was as full and as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob, that night, it was my turn to take the money to the vault.
Yes.
Oh, Jacob, I am so sorry with all my heart. I have never forgiven myself.
All men must die. That you cannot change. What you make of your life, that you can change.
Jacob, tell me more. Speak comfort to me.
I have none to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer Scrooge, and is conveyed by other ministers to other kinds of men. Nor can I tell you what I would. A little more is all that is permitted me. I cannot stay. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house. Mark me. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole. And weary journeys lie before me.
Jacob, you must have been very slow about it.
Slow.
7 years dead and traveling all the time?
The whole time. No rest. No peace. Incessant torture of remorse.
You travel fast?
On the wings of the wind.
Seems to me you would have gotten a little farther.
Ah!
Jacob! You were always a good man of business.
Business! Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were a drop in the ocean of my business. It is at this time in the rolling year I suffer most. Oh, why did I walk through crowds of my fellow bees with my eyes turned down and never raised them to that blessed star which led the wise men to the core above? Were there no poor to which its light would have conducted me? Hear me! My time is nearly gone.
Oh, we hear you, Jacob. But don't be so hard on me. Don't be so flowery, pray.
How it is that I appear before you in a shape that you can see, I may not tell. For I have sat invisible besides many a day. That is no light part of my penance. I am here tonight to warn you that you have a chance and a hope of escaping my fate, a chance and hope of my procuring.
You were always a good friend to me, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope that you talked about, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you have no hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I have it all at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Expect the second the next night at the same hour. And expect the third the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more. And for your own sake, look and remember what has passed between us.
Oh, Jacob, tell me more. Jacob, Jacob! nothing else. Old Jacob Marley said the first ghost would visit at the first hour. Jacob Marley back from the dead? Ha! It was just a nightmare after all. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
Why do you burn so brightly?
Would you so soon put out the light I give? Through whole trains of years you have tried to push me into the shadows.
I've never done so knowingly.
I think that you have.
Excuse my ignorance, but what business is it that brings you to me?
Your welfare.
Much obliged, I'm sure, but don't you suppose that a night of unbroken rest would be more conducive to my welfare?
Your redemption, then. I have many shadows I wish to show you. All you must know is these shadows cannot see or hear us. Look there, Mr. Scrooge.
Good heaven! I was born here! I was a boy here!
Your lip is trembling. What is that upon your cheek? Are you ready to continue?
Yes.
Do you remember the way?
Remember it? I could walk it blindfold.
Strange to have forgotten for so long. Let us move on. There is a young boy I'd like you to see.
Where?
There, in that school over there.
All I see is a deserted schoolhouse. Show me something else.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still. Do you know this child?
Yes.
Who would leave a small boy to spend Christmas all alone in an abandoned schoolhouse?
My father would. Poor boy. Poor boy. I should have given him. It's too late anyway.
What is the matter?
There was a boy singing a Christmas carol under the lamppost last night. I should have given him something, that's all.
Let's see another Christmas.
Ebenezer? Ebenezer, where are you?
Fan?
Oh, dear, dear brother. I've come to bring you home, dear brother. To bring you home, home, home.
Home, little Fan?
Yes, home for good and all. Home forever and ever.
Has Father died then?
No, Ebenezer. Father has not died. He has only changed. He's a new man.
How has this happened? People don't change.
They do sometimes, Ebenezer. Sometimes people do change. I don't know how, and I don't know what has caused this change, but Father is so much kinder than he used to be. Their home's like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him if you might come home. And he said, yes, you should, and sent me in a coach to bring you. And you are to be a man and are never to come back here again. But first, we're to be together the whole Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world.
You're quite a woman, little Fan.
Oh, hurry, hurry.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath may have withered, but she had a large heart.
So she had. I'll not deny it.
She died a woman, and had, I think, children.
One child, she died, giving him birth.
True. Your nephew, Fred.
Yes, my nephew Fred, but I'd rather not talk about it.
You'll do more than talk about it.
Fan.
Hello, Ebenezer.
Hello, Fan.
Did you see?
Yes, I saw him.
He's beautiful, isn't he?
Yes, he is. What did you name him?
Frederick. After grandfather.
That's a good name.
It hurts so.
Shh. Just rest. You'll be fine.
No, I won't. The doctors won't say much. They just whisper outside my door. Good news is never whispered. I wasn't sure until I saw your face. But now I know. I'm scared, Ebenezer.
I'm here.
Yes. Stay with me.
I'll always be with you.
Love my Fred as you have loved me.
I promise. Fan, don't leave me.
I'll always be with you.
Fan, don't go.
I'll always be with you.
Fan, don't leave me alone. Fan!
Do you blame your nephew Fred for her death?
I used to.
Is that why you despise him?
I don't despise him.
He reminds you of your sister, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
You are a bigger fool than I thought you were.
Is that so?
Yes. Fred is all you have left. Let us move on. Do you know this warehouse?
Know it. I was an apprentice here. It's Mr. Fezziwig. Bless his heart. Mr. Fezziwig alive again.
Yo-ho there. Ebenezer. Dick.
Right here, Mr. Fezziwig.
Yo-ho, my boys. No more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer.
That it is,
Mr. Fezziwig.
Let's have the shutters up before men can say Jack Robinson.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
Mr. Fezziwig.
Fezziwig.
Hilly-ho, my lads. Clear away. Let's have lots of room here. Hilly-ho, Dick. Cheer up, Ebenezer. Ah, Mrs. Fezziwig. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la.
On behalf of my dear husband and myself, I am happy to announce that this year has been our most successful to date.
And our success is due to having the best employees of all of London. And that is why everyone can expect an increase in salary in the new year.
toast Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Enough.
Hooray! What happened?
A small matter in which to make these silly people so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. Mr. Fezziwig has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service mild or strong. And the power that lies within him is quite as great as it costs a lot. The happiness that he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune. Oh, I see. Very clever. Well done.
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing.
Something, I think.
No, I just wish to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit, just now, that's all.
Oh. Shadows, we are done here. Be off with you. You and Belle seemed very happy.
Yes.
Until you destroyed her love for you.
That's one way to look at it.
I am history. I only record what is. It is you that have forgotten.
You're late.
I had a meeting. It went late. Here.
It matters little. To you, a very little. Another idol has displaced me. And if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, then I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is an even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing for which it's so hard as poverty, and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
Oh, you fear the world too much. All your hopes have merged with the hope of the chance of being beyond its sordid reproach. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one, until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown that much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you, am I?
Our contract is an old one, made when we were both poor and content to be so, until in good season we could improve our wealth by our worldly industry. Oh, Ebenezer, you are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you are not what you once were. I am. That which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of it, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life, with another hope as its great end. In everything that ever made my love of any worth or value in your sight. Tell me, if this had never been between us, would you seek me out and try to win me now?
You think not.
Oh, I would gladly think otherwise if I could. Heaven knows when I have learned a truth like this. I know how strong and irresistible it must be. But if you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, could even I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl? I release you, Ebenezer. with a full heart for the love that we once shared.
Belle.
You may have pain in this, a very, very brief time, and you will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream from which it happened well that you awoke. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No, I don't wish to see it. Show me no more.
Children, children, come. Your father will be home any moment with the presents. And I think it would be a nice gesture on your part, and in keeping with the general feeling of the Christmas season, if this year you wouldn't knock him over and trample him flat. Wait for Father.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Mr. Wilkins. Children, don't hurt your father. Yes. Oh, dear, are you quite all right?
I think so.
Oh, good.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Belle, I saw an old friend of ours this afternoon.
Oh, who was it?
Guess.
I don't know. How would I know? Was it Mr. Scrooge?
Mr. Scrooge it was. I was walking by his office window, and as it was not shut up, and there was a candle inside, I could scarcely help seeing him. With his partner dead, there he sat, all alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Spirit, remove me.
I told you. These are the shadows of the things that have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Remove me. I cannot bear it any longer.
Fan, don't leave me alone, Fan.
He's changed, Ebenezer. He's a new man.
Love my friend, as you have loved me. I will always be with you.
There he sat, quite alone, I do believe.
May you be happy with
Fan, don't leave me
Love
alone,
my
Fan.
friend, as you have loved me. I will always
Fan,
be with you.
don't leave me alone,
Love
Fan.
my friend.
Leave me! Take me
Don't
back!
leave me alone.
Hold me no longer!
Ebenezer! Ebenezer Scrooge! I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You haven't seen the likes of me before.
Never.
You haven't walked forth with the younger members of my race, meaning my elder brothers born in these later years.
No, I don't think I have. No, I'm afraid not. Have you had many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for.
We spirits of Christmas do not live only one day of the year, but the whole 365 days. So it is with the child of Bethlehem. He does not live in the hearts of men only one day of the year, but all the days of the year. You have chosen not to seek him with your heart. Therefore, you shall come with me tonight and seek him in the hearts of men of good will.
Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion. I learned a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if that ought to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe. Do you know where we are?
No, am I supposed to?
Tell me what you see.
A modest home. Clean, but modest. The father can't possibly make much. Perhaps he doesn't even have a job.
Oh, the father has a job.
Perhaps he should find another one. He obviously is not making enough to care for his family properly.
Oh, you're right, he's not. The father is a good and hard worker, but his employer is a tight-fisted, hand-to-the-grindstone sort. A squeezing, wrenching, clutching, scraping, covet-your-soul sinner.
Sounds most disagreeable.
Oh, he is indeed. Hush now, here they come.
Hey, that's Bob Cratchit. He works for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you said... Oh, I see. Very clever. You should try running a business sometime. With all due respect, of course.
Delicious dinner as always, my dear. You outdid yourself. Each and every part, utter perfection.
Why, thank you. And how was the church service this evening? You didn't say anything at dinner.
Oh, it was lovely. Beautiful singing.
And how did Tim behave?
As good as gold and better. You know, sometimes he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much, and he thinks the strangest things you've ever heard.
Why? What did he say?
He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in the church because he was a cripple. And it might be pleasant for them to think, upon Christmas Day, who it was that made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
My Tim.
He's getting stronger, you know.
Is he, Robert? Is he really?
Oh, yes, my dear, I'm sure of it. Why, just the other day...
Shh, here come the children.
Oh, well, there's some of them.
Oh, very much.
What is it?
Nothing.
Do you know this child?
I have seen him before, so that's why he was outside my office.
Don't tell me the dishes are done already.
Why, yes, they are, Mother. There's nothing us 6 Cratchit children cannot do.
All right now, children. There's a shovelful of chestnuts roasting on the fire, and plenty of mulled cider for everyone.
My favourite was the goose, Mother. What do you put on it that makes it taste so good?
Why, I just put a little onion and sage on it.
I like the stuffing. My favorite was the applesauce. Just the right amount of cinnamon.
Thank you. And Peter, the potatoes you mashed were my favorite.
Mashed.
What?
Mashed. Peter mashed the potatoes, not mushed them.
Oh, whatever he did, they were good. The pudding is always the best part.
I'm glad. I thought I didn't have quite enough flour.
My dear, how you manage to make it better and better year after year, I'll never understand.
Well, that's a relief.
Well, a Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see an empty seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crotch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, Spirit. Say that his life will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here.
You mean he dies tonight?
I mean, this will be the child's last Christmas. But what of it? If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population.
How dare you?
No, Scrooge, how dare you? Will you decide what men shall live and what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
Mr. Scrooge. I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of our feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon. And I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, and unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. No one knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake, and the day's, not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to him. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Father, tell us the story about the baby.
Let's see. He was born a long time ago, nearly 2,000 years ago, in a place called Bethlehem. His father and his mother came from a town called Nazareth. But they were forced by business to travel to Bethlehem. His father's name was
Joseph.
And his mother's name was
Mary.
And in the town, being very full of people, also called there by business, there was no room for Joseph and Mary at the inn or in any house, so they had to go into a stable to lodge. But in that stable, Jesus Christ was born. Now, they had no crib or anything like that, so Mary laid her pretty little boy in what is called the manger, and that's the thing that the horses eat out of. And there, he fell asleep. Now, while he was asleep, some shepherds who were out in the field looking out after their sheep saw an angel of God, all light and beautiful, come.
Then he said, "Christmas is a humbug," as I live. Oh, and he believed it too.
Oh, more shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical old fellow. That's the truth. And not so pleasant as he might be. But his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
He sure is very rich. At least that's what you always tell me, Fred.
Yes, but what of that? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with his money. He hasn't the satisfaction of thinking he's ever going to benefit us with it.
And I have no patience with him.
Well, I have. I feel sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. For who suffers by his ill whims? Himself. Always.
Suffers? How so?
Well, here. He takes it into his head to dislike us and won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence?
He misses out on some really great company.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And some great spirits.
Very true. Well, you don't miss much of a dinner.
I think he loses a very good dinner.
A very good dinner indeed. The very idea.
Thank you, Nancy.
Well, I am glad to hear it. I'm afraid I haven't much faith in these young housekeepers. Yes, well, Topper, what have you to say on the subject?
That's beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Oi, Topper! Topper!
What? Yes, who, me?
Yes, you, my good man. What have you to say on the subject?
Well, I am just a bachelor. And, being just a bachelor... and at that wretched outcast, I feel I have no right to express an opinion on the subject.
Do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. He is such a ridiculous fellow.
Well, I was only going to say that by his taking a dislike to us and not making merry with us, is that he loses some pleasant moments, which could do him no harm. I'm sure he loses pleasanter companions than he can find in that moldy old office of his or his dusty chambers. In fact, I mean to give him the chance year after year, for I pity him.
Oh.
No, I do. He may rail at Christmas time until he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. Why, I defy him. If I go there in good temper year after year and say, Uncle Scrooge, how are you?
Huh?
Even if it puts him in the vein to leave his poor clerk 50 pounds. That's something, and I think I shook him yesterday.
Who wants to play yes and no?
Oh, yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Very well. Let's see. Topper, Nancy, and I will play the first round, and my dear husband Fred shall be it.
Me? It. All right, then. Let's see, what to start with. Oh, yes. I have the very thing. Now, you all know the rules. Each of you gets one question in turn that can be answered with a yes or a no. Nothing more.
Yes, Fred, we all know the rules. Let's get on with it.
Ooh.
Very well, Topper. You begin.
Right. Is it an animal?
Yes.
Ooh, is it a savage animal?
Sometimes.
Is it an animal that growls?
Speak up, I can't hear you.
I believe I've heard it growl on occasion.
Is this animal native to England?
Yes.
Oh, will we see this animal walking on the streets?
You might.
Would we see this animal on the end of a leash?
No. But a leash is not altogether a bad idea.
Would this animal be butchered in the market?
No. But there were certainly those tempted to do so.
Is it a horse?
Not a horse.
A donkey.
Out of turn.
A donkey.
No.
A cow, then.
Not a cow.
A bull.
No, but stubborn like one.
A tiger.
Native to England? He didn't marry her for her brains, that's for sure.
No, my dear, it's not a tiger.
Lord, man, a dog, a duck-billed platypus, a skunk, a wild dingo.
No, and no.
It's a big fat pig.
It's a big fat pig.
Hey, she stole my answer.
It's not a pig.
I got it. It's a cat.
No.
Ah, a bear. That's what it is, a bear.
No, but he's like a bear in many respects.
Let me add up the clues here. We've got a growling and savage animal.
Savage.
That walks the streets of London free from a leash.
London. Leash.
As stubborn as a bull.
Stubborn.
I give up. I believe you've stumped us.
Oh, I've got it. Oh, Fred, how cruel.
Nancy, if you know it, say it.
Oh, it's...
Say it, Nancy, say it.
Oh,
Yes, Nancy, tell us the answer.
Out with it already.
it's your Uncle Scrooge.
Yes.
How could you?
Scrooge, a bear indeed.
He certainly is as ferocious as a tiger.
True.
You should have said yes when I asked if it was a donkey.
Look who's talking.
Oh, yes. Well, he's given us plenty of merriment, I am sure. And it would be ungrateful for us to not drink to his health. So here, each of us have a glass of mulled wine. Shall be ready at our hands for the very moment I say, Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man. Whatever he is.
As I said, I understand the point. And I'm beginning to see that I've made some mistakes along the way. But I don't appreciate being the laughingstock to my nephew Fred and his crowd.
All in good fun, Mr. Scrooge. You do remember fun, don't you? Besides, it's obvious your nephew has a deep affection for you.
Where exactly are we going? Spirit, what is it?
My time is nearly up.
Are Spirit's lives so short?
Mine is. My life on this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark! The hour is drawing near. Look here!
Spirit, are these children yours?
They are man's and they cling to me. The boy is ignorant and the girl is want. Beware them both and all of their degree, but most of all beware the boy, for on his brow I see written that which is doom, unless the writing be erased. Deny it, slander those who tell it ye, admit it for your factious purposes and make it worse, and by the end.
Have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Spirit, where are you? Where do I go? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so? Oh, ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter that I have seen. And as I know that your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to be a man that I was, I am prepared to bear you company and to do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? Very well. Spirit, lead on. The night is waning fast, and time is precious to me, I know. Lead on.
How are you? Old Scratch got his own at last, eh?
So I'm told. When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Oh, God knows.
What's he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know. It's most likely going to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anyone to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
Oh, I'll go if lunch is provided, but I must be fed.
Well, I never eat lunch, but I'm willing to go, if you will. Now that I think of it, I'm not so sure I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to stop and speak whenever we met. Good night.
Who are they talking about? Is this someone I know?
Let the charwoman alone be first. Let the laundress alone to be the second. And let the undertaker's man alone be the third.
Look here, old Joe. Here's a chance. As if we hadn't all three met here without meaning it.
You couldn't have met in a better place with a fly. Come into the parlor. You were made free of it long ago, you know. And the other two, they ain't strangers. We're all suitable to our calling. We're well matched. Come into the parlor. Come into the parlor.
What odds, then? What odds, Mrs. Dober? Every person has a right to take care of himself. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
I suppose not.
Why, then don't stand staring as if you was afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed.
Well, then, that's enough. Who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose, eh, Mr. Ash?
I suppose not.
Well, if you wanted to keep him when he was dead, a wicked old screw, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd had someone to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying there gasping out his last all alone by himself.
It's the truest word that ever was spoke. It's a judgment on him.
And I wish it were a heavier one, you may depend upon it. If I could have laid my hands on anything else. Open me bundle, Joe, and let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid for them to see it. We knew pretty well we were helping ourselves when we met here, I believe. It's no sin. Open me bundle, Joe.
I'll not wait in line any longer. Move over. Take me, Joe. Do me first.
As you wish, Mr. Ash. As you wish. Let's see. A seal, a pencil case, a pair of sleeve buttons, and a brooch. Of no great value. Not much here, Mr. Ash. And what there is what I call shabby.
Shabby indeed.
Here's your account.
You're a thief.
You knew what I was when you came in here. And I'll not give you another sixpence if I was to be biled for not doing it.
You better treat me better, old man. There'll come a day, sooner rather than later, when my shovel and I will have the last word.
Right you are, Mr. Undertaker. And I can promise you won't hear any complaining from me. Who's next?
Oh, do me next, old Joe. Do me.
Very well, Mrs. Dilber. Sheets, towels, little wearing apparel, pair of silver teaspoons, sugar tongs, and some boots. I always give too much to the ladies. That's how I ruin myself. Well. Here's your account.
It's robbery, I tell you.
If you ask me for another penny, I'll repent of being so liberal. And I'll knock off half a crown.
And now undo me bundle, Joe.
All in good time with a fly. All in good time. Let's see. What's this?
Bed curtains.
Bed curtains? You mean to tell me you took them down, rings and all? With them lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune with a fly, and you'll certainly do it.
Oh, I certainly shan't hold me hand when I get anything in it by reaching it out for the sake of such a man as he was. Oh, don't be spilling nothing on his blankets.
His blankets?
Who else's do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without him, Mr. Ash.
No, indeed. No, indeed.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Oh, don't you be worrying about that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter about him for such things if he did. Oh, you may look through that shirt until your eyes ache. You won't find a hole in it, not a threadbare place. Well, it's the best he had, and a fine one, too. Well, they'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you mean, wasting of it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off him again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it ain't good enough for anything. Why, it's quite becoming to the body, and he can't look uglier than he did in that one.
Well, fair is fair. Here's your account. I'll fetch a fair price for your catch of the day.
This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away when he was alive to profit us when he was dead.
I see the case of this unhappy man may be my own. Who died? Who are these shadows talking about? Merciful heaven, what is this?
O cold, cold, wicked, wretched death, set up thine altar here, and show us with such terrors thou hast at thy command, for this is thy dominion. Strike, shadow, strike, and see his deeds, flowing from the wounds who live with life immortal. Hark, at the cat scratching at the door, and the rat gnawing in the wall. What could they possibly want in this room of death?
Oh, this is a fearful place. In leaving it, I will not leave its lesson. Trust me. Let us go. I understand you. I would if I could. But I have not the power, Spirit. I have not the power. If there is any person in this town who feels the emotion caused by this man's death, show that person to me. I beseech you.
John, is the news good or bad?
It's bad.
Are we ruined?
No, there is hope yet.
If you got him to change his mind, there is. Nothing is past hope if such a miracle has happened. What did he say?
He didn't say anything.
He didn't even speak to you? That's bad.
He's dead.
Oh, thank you, God.
Oh, Caroline!
Dear Lord, forgive me for my extreme happiness, but you knew him better than I, and I'm sure you'll understand. Amen. What happened?
Well, I went to his home to ask him for a 2 weeks delay in the rent. And when I got there, a drunken woman had told me he was ill. But I pushed her aside and went into his chamber. And there I saw him, lying dead.
Well, who do we owe the money to now?
It doesn't matter. By the time the new landlord comes around, we'll have the money. And if not, what are the chances that the new people will be as miserable as this man? No, Carolyn, we shall sleep with light hearts tonight.
Let me see some tenderness connected to a death, or that dark chamber for which we just left now will be forever present to me.
But Jesus called them unto him and said, Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of God. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child shall in no wise enter therein. The small print hurts my eyes. That's better now. I wouldn't want to show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. It must be his time.
Past it, rather. But he has walked on a bit slow these past few evenings.
I have known him walk very fast indeed, with Tim on his shoulders. Very fast indeed.
So have I, often.
So have I.
But he was so light to carry, and your father loved him so that he was no trouble. No trouble. There's your father at the door. Did you make the arrangements, Robert?
Yes, my dear. Oh, wait till you see how green a place it is. I told him that we would visit him often. My little child. My my little child. I saw Mr. Scrooge's nephew there. He stopped and spoke with me, and he asked me what had happened to distress me so. I told him. And he said how terribly sorry he was to hear it.
How kind of him.
He said if we needed anything at all, that we should call upon him. It really seemed as if he had known our Tiny Tim and felt with us.
Bless his heart.
I'm sure he's a good soul.
You would be sure of it if you had seen and spoken with him. And I wouldn't be at all surprised, mind you, if he got Peter here, a better situation.
Only hear that, Peter.
And then Peter will be keeping company with somebody and setting up for himself.
Oh, gets along with you.
Well, it's just as likely as not one of these days. But there'll be plenty of time for that. But however and whenever we part from one another, I know that none of us shall forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? Or this first parting that there was amongst us?
No, Father.
Never, Father.
And I know, my dears, that when we recollect how patient and mild he was, although he was a little child, we shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget poor Tiny Tim in doing so.
No, Mother.
Never, Mother.
I'm very happy. I am. Very happy.
Bob. Spectre, I fear that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Tell me, what man is it whom we saw lying dead? Before I draw near to that stone, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of things that will be? The shadow of the things that may be only? Am I the man who lay upon the bed? Spirit, hear me. I am not the man that I was. I will not be the man that I must have been but for this. Why show me this if I'm past all hope? Oh, Spirit, your nature intercedes for me and pities me. Assure me that I can change the shadows of the things you have shown me by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all three will strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach. Marley in Christmas time. Be praised for this. I say it on my knees, O Jacob Marley, on my knees. Shadow the things that may have been. The spell, I'll see to that. I don't even know what month it is. I don't even know how long I've been among the spirits. Hey, what's today?
Eh?
What's today, my fine fella?
Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day? I haven't missed it. The spirit must have done this all in one night. They can do anything they want. Of course they can. Do you know the poultry on the next street?
I should hope I did.
A remarkable boy, intelligent boy. Do you know if they had the prize turkey hanging there?
You mean the one as big as me?
Yes, me buck.
It's hanging there now.
It is? Go and buy it.
Buy it? Then suppose you and I shall eat turkey with the queen.
Wait. I'm in earnest. Here's the money for it. Tell the man to deliver it to Bob Cratchit's house. You got it?
Got it.
It's from an anonymous source, so don't tell who it comes from. Got it?
Right.
Okay, now here's a 5-pound note.
Blimey, I've never seen a 5-pound note before. I knew it was too good to be true.
No, here's your half. Useless for the moment. Be back here tomorrow morning. I'll give you the other half. Got it?
Got it.
Good boy. Merry Christmas. Off you go.
Merry Christmas!
Good morning, Mrs. Tinker. Good morning, Mrs. Potts. How do you do? I hope you were very successful yesterday. That was very kind of you. Merry Christmas to the both of you.
Oh, dear, Mrs. Potts, could this possibly be Mr. Scrooge?
You mean, Mrs. Tinker, Mr. Scrooge of Scrooge and Marley?
That's the Mr. Scrooge I'm talking about.
No, Mrs. Tinker, it couldn't possibly be him.
Yeah, Scrooge is my name, and I fear that it may not be very pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you accept a gift for her?
Mrs. Tinker, tell me. Mr. Scrooge, are you quite serious?
If you please, Mrs. Potts, I am quite serious, and not a farthing less. And many back payments are included with that. You do me that favor?
We don't know what to say.
I didn't ask you to say anything. Will you come and see me? Will you come and see me?
Oh, we will. We most surely will.
Thank you, Mrs. Tinker. Thank you, Mrs. Potts. Thank you 50 times. I am much obliged to you. Merry Christmas to the both of you.
Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Scrooge.
God bless you.
Belle?
I beg your pardon. You've confused me with someone else. Excuse me.
I know you. You're married to my nephew, Fred.
Good day, Mr. Scrooge.
Please, wait, don't go.
Have you any idea how much pain you caused my husband?
I didn't, but I do know now. Do you believe it's possible for a person to change?
Sometimes. Some people.
Yesterday, my nephew invited me to his house for Christmas today. And I think he left my office with the impression that I wasn't coming.
Yes, I believe you told him you'd see him in.
I'm sorry. That was very rude of me. Is the invitation still good?
Yes, it is. For his sake it is. But if you hurt him again...
I promise I won't. Fred, very fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you. We'll expect you at 2 o'clock. Merry Christmas, Uncle Ebenezer.
Merry Christmas.
He's not here. I'm not late. Candle, light the candle. Okay, light the candle, not the pen. And oh, Cratchit, you're late.
Mr. Cratchit?
Yes, sir?
What time is it?
Oh, past 9, I believe, sir.
What is the meaning of coming at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are? Yes, I believe you are. Will you step this way, please?
Oh, it's only once a year, sir. It shan't be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
So was I, and I managed to get here on time.
You were making merry yesterday, sir.
Hard to believe it, ain't it? You should have seen. I popped in on my nephew Fred, and we had quite the party. You should have seen them when they popped in and sat down at the table. That wife of his makes a mean Christmas goose. What did you have?
Turkey. An anonymous friend had sent the prize turkey to our home.
Prize turkey, huh?
Yes, sir. It was amazing. And my little guy, Tiny Tim, he was quite sure that it was you that sent it.
Is he now? Well, getting back to this coming in late business,
yes,
I am not going to tolerate this sort of thing any longer. So therefore, I'm going to double your salary.
Double what? Double who? Do what now?
Merry Christmas, Bob. A merry one that have given you in many a year.
I thank you, sir. And the same to you.
Wait, I have an errand for you to run.
Yes, sir?
My driver will be at your house in 15 minutes. Go home, collect Tiny Tim, and then both of you are off to the London clinic. Here's a letter of introduction to send all the bills to Scrooge and Marley. They have the best doctors in the world, and I am very confident they'll get your son off to a speedy recovery.
I don't know what to say, sir.
Good, because I didn't ask you to say anything. When you get back, we'll discuss your affairs over a smoking bowl of Bishop. Things are going to be different around here, Mr. Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
This company is heading in a new direction. We got a new mission.
A new mission? What mission is that, Mr. Scrooge?
We're going to change the future, Mr. Cratchit. We're going to change the future.
us everyone, father, mother, daughter, son. In desperate need we come. God bless us the ruler and the beggar, knowing we are weak. The line goes on forever. We cry out for love. Hear our prayer. Deliver shelter to the homeless. Let every child be fed. Give the wounded comfort and give the weary rest. We have no hope without you. You alone are alive. God, look down, hear us cry. God bless us everyone, father, mother, daughter, son. In desperate need we come. God bless us in desperate